Why is it that every time I sit down to start filming, the sun suddenly appears in the sky and is right in my eyes? It is literally the 2nd of December today in the UK. Shouldn't be here. Hello, my spooky darlings. It is my first video of the month, and you know what that means. It's time for the monthly roundup. So this morning's beverage of choice is an Assam tea, which sounds very fancy, but honestly it's just because I'm absolutely exhausted and wanted something nice.
After all, it's only an accident of birth that I'm not someone important.
So yesterday I went out to Worcester's Christmas market and it was a lovely day out, but it was a day out nonetheless. And I'm a chronically ill human being, so I'm now paying the price. So I do apologise if I seem a little bit nonchalant in this video. I'm not nonchalant. I'm just too exhausted to mask, so good luck with that. It has been a bit of a mental month. I have got so much to show you guys. But before I regret... why can't I say that word? But before I regret... Oh dear Lord. It's going to go... I think this video is going to go about that well. But before I regale you with the saga that was my November, if you are a crocheter, a crafter, an artist, a creative of any kind, then I would love to turn these videos into a little community of creative people celebrating each other, supporting one another. So I would love you to comment on this video with a little summary of your own monthly roundup, and then we can all hop on, see what you've done, celebrate your achievements, maybe give you some advice if you need some advice. Yeah, I just love this to be a little community of creative people supporting one another. So if that sounds like your vibe, then please do pop a comment on, and if you're not already subscribed to me, then please do sub, and also put a big thumbs up on this video because it really does help push my videos out on YouTube, and I am only a small channel at the moment and I would love to be maybe a little bit of a bigger one. November, right, the makes. So I am about to give the internet what I think could be one of the best neurodivergent metaphors ever. Because in this section, in October's monthly roundup, I was talking about how I felt like I'd been crocheting non-stop, but had only actually finished 3 sculptures and 3 bandanas. Well, cut to this month, that number is 15 things overall, 6 hoods, and the rest are all sculptures that I did. I definitely put a lot more crochet hours in this month. There was a period of time, particularly in the run-up to the market that I was doing, where I was crocheting like 10, 12 hours a day. The crochet and chat video that I put up a couple of weeks ago, in which we made this dragon behind me here, I think that was at the peak of when I was like hustling real good. So yeah, November was quite tiring in terms of how much physical crochet work I was doing. I'm going to be releasing a vlog about the market, but it's been a week now since the market and I'm still paying the price. But anyway, what things did I finish for the market? Obviously, the first thing I finished was this boy. So I've called him Heartwing. If you go and watch my latest crochet and chat video, which was released a couple of weeks ago, I'll put the link on the screen somewhere as well for you. Then you can see me making him from start to finish and telling you about a lot of dragon facts, and also having a public breakdown, rage quitting, and then giving myself and possibly many other creatives on the internet a little therapy session on the creative mindset. It's a colour scheme that I'm not really familiar with using. It's not my favourite colour scheme to use, I won't lie, but I made it work and I'm really proud of it. And if you want to see more about how I created this dragon, then please do go and give some love to my crochet and chat video in which we make him. So I figured we'd kind of go through all of the sculptures in size order. So my large size sculptures then, which you can see behind me here, and this is one of them. So the first one that I'll show you close up of is affectionately dubbed Pastel King. All of the large size sculptures that I've made for some reason have king as a suffix. So this is Pastel King. I think that this is one of my favourite makes of this entire year. I don't know why. I really, really love this yarn. Again, this is Yarn Smith's Double Knitting Lagoon. I'm obsessed with that yarn. Obviously, I love using white pupils in the eyes. And yeah, I just think the vibe is on point. So the other large size sculpture that I managed to make was Celestial Steel King. So here he is in all his glory. I love Eastern dragons anyway, and I don't know, there's just something so majestic about this one. I really love doing these large size sculptures. Posted him online as well, and he got a really lovely reception online too, which really made me feel good. So moving on to my medium-sized wall-mounted sculptures. So I did a couple of equid-inspired sculptures this month. One of them was a unicorn. I'm pretty pleased with how this one turned out. Fun fact about me, I have a real hyperfixation on the natural history of unicorns. I'm absolutely going to be doing a video one day on the actual origins of the unicorn. I'd love to do like a historically accurate unicorn sculpture as well at some point. And the other equid inspired sculpture I did was a kelpie. People love kelpies on the internet, me included. What a beautiful bouffant this kelpie has. Somebody has been to the hairdressers. I finished one more medium sculpture this month, which was a fox-like Eastern dragon. For somebody who literally made an entire career on being a cat person, I sure do gravitate towards the canids in folklore and mythology. So yeah, I thought I'd have a go at making a fox-like dragon that was genuinely fox-like. And in doing so, discovered that I'm not only a mythozoologist and a mythotaxidermist, but also a dragon hairdresser, because this is what he looked like before I trimmed his hair. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this one, I'm not going to lie. The vision didn't quite execute itself as I had hoped. I also brushed out the darker blue yarn on him as well to make it look a little bit fluffier. I tried to do a TikTok video about that. I started making that TikTok video when I had multicolored hair. So like maybe August time. So maybe that TikTok video needs to be abandoned. So the next category was all of my small wall mounted head sculptures like Tiny Boy here. You can see a close-up of him in my October Roundup video because I finished him last month. So the first small sculpture that I finished was Angle Boy, who was inspired by an anglerfish. Last month, he was a work in progress. I made a few little adjustments to him, so I changed the actual angler lantern bit. It was a very good decision. It was way too bulky before. I'm definitely thinking about taking this concept and making a full-bodied version of it. And that's kind of the point of me doing these wall-mounted sculptures, is they are a chance for me to experiment, kind of be free to just explore different ornamentations, different yarns, different color combinations. And then if I like something, then I can transfer that into a full-bodied sculpture. I also made a Witchy Boy. This is Witchy Boy. No thoughts, head empty with this one, I feel. At this point in my crochet journey, I was starting to run out of steam, but I really like how he turned out. And it was very interesting the way that this one came together, because I knew that I wanted to make a kind of witchy, folk magic-y vibe, but I really didn't have the brain space to be able to think conceptually. All I had to be able to bring that vibe to life were my colour choices. And I think I kind of did achieve that. And then the last one that I finished was Flower Boy. Now, this is my least favourite make of November for sure. The idea was there. I think the execution kind of failed me a little bit. In another timeline, I would have made the body in a different colour. Also, just fun fact, I was watching a documentary about the gunpowder plot whilst I was making this. I actually do have that with a lot of my make. I associate what I was watching with the thing I was making. So I immediately have like a paired memory with that make and the thing I was watching whilst I was making it. So Pastel King behind me, green wing. Heart Dragon, whilst I was in between filming, I was watching Dave Gorman's Modern Life is Goodish. I don't know, does anybody else's brain do that? I used to do that with my artwork. When I look back at my paintings, I'm like, oh yeah, I painted that whilst I was listening to that Susie and the Banshees album or whatever. The other thing that I finished was hoods. Last month, I'd got 6 hoods, which were in my works in progress that I was carrying over to this month. I managed to get tassels on all of them. I can't believe how long it took me. It's the prepping it all, cutting all the yarn, feeding it all through the hood, getting everything sectioned out. The braid takes me like maybe 10 minutes to do, but like the preparatory work and then finishing it all off turns it into like 3/4 of an hour for some reason. But anyway, they're all done. I don't have individual videos of them because that requires me modeling them, and I really hate taking photos of myself. It's just not for me. That is not going to be selling my products, me being the model. That's everything that I finished this month. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot. I have learned a lot about myself this month by doing that, and I'm going to be able to implement that into my plans for how I'm going to set up to sell online next year. But I'll talk to you about that in my plans for next month section of this video, which is at the end. Sneak a little tactic to try and keep you watching there. New works in progress. There's only one for this month, you'll be pleased to know, because I've not started making Christmas presents yet, so none of them are whips. So this is Wraith Boy. Red pupil eyes are something that I need to use more of. I tend to use them a lot when I do white animals because, I don't know, I've just got a bit of an obsession with like wraith-like things. Little ghosties. Just little ghosties. I just love them. As soon as I made the Elfengeist, which is this guy here, I was like, oh, I'm never going to sell him, am I? And actually, he's really popular on my TikTok lives as well. Everybody asks to see a close-up of him. What whips am I carrying over from last month to this month? Well, here is the full list. It's pretty much the same list as last month, apart from there are a few whips that aren't on this list because I'm going to be shelving the projects. Obviously, I had a bit of a nightmare with trying to finish stuff for the market. I have so many whips, and the aim was for the market to get some of those whips finished. That kind of went to pot for various reasons. I'll be telling you all about it in the next Crafting a Crochet Kingdom episode, which is going to be a market vlog. But it caused me to have a real rethink about the works in progress that I have. I've really thought hard about this. The ones that I've decided to shelve are the Cave Lindworm. What I might actually do is I might end up reworking him. The legs, and in particular the claws that I chose to attach to him, really don't work. The next project that I'm going to be shelving, which I can't remember whether I actually included this in my whips for last month, and that's the Snapdragon. Rather than frogging it, I'm going to be shelving that idea. I'm going to be unpicking the wings, and I'm going to be unpicking all of the ornamentation as well, and I'm going to repurpose that dragon and make it something else. The one project that I am going to be completely frogging is the Kunanoon. I love dragons, but my heart really lies in folkloric animals and mythological animals that are kind of just fantastical, magical versions of animals that we have in our world. Things like the Kunanoon. And there are loads of others, like the Black Shook. That's where my heart lies, because I think it says a huge amount about our connection to the natural world. So I was really excited when I started making this project. I wasn't happy with it from the moment that I had sculpted the face. I'm now at the point where I can't really move past the thought that I could do better. The bullet journal is out, so it is time to chat business stuff. The lighting has gone really squiffy now. So the main business thing this month has been the fact that I did my market. I did it, completed it, mate. Now, I debated how much I was going to talk about this because I've got a full vlog coming out on the market later this month where I'm going to give you all of the juicy gossip on finances and everything. So all I'm going to say is the fact that I did it was the success. I could have gone and sold nothing and I would have still been happy. So how has my YouTube channel been going this month? Well, so things actually really kicked off on my YouTube channel, I want to say, with my last monthly Roundup video. You guys genuinely made my day. It makes me so excited when I meet other people in my YouTube comments. So now I understand YouTube a little bit better. I'm changing the stats that I'm recording. First thing is still my subscribers. So I started on the 1st of what month are we in? What a month is this for?
Or am I here? Maybe I'm imagining them, or they're imagining me. Or am I?
So the 1st of November, I had 223 YouTube subscribers. And as of the 30th of November, I had 308. When I first started my YouTube channel, my goal was to get to 100 subscribers by the new year. And then last month, when I finished the month with 223 subscribers, I was like, well, 300 subscribers is probably going to be a great goal for the end of the month. But now we're at 308 subscribers. Maybe my goal by the end of the month should be 400 subscribers. That feels like an ambitious goal. Come back in January to see whether I manage it. You're really keeping me motivated and excited to do what I'm doing, which I know sounds really silly probably, but I'm really excited to be here on YouTube and be able to connect with people. So the fact that people are actually kind of liking what I'm doing, I just never really expected it. I'm not going to lie. My default assumption is that people are just not going to like me. This is where my stats change a little bit from last month. So my overall profile views were 1.9k this month, and my video views were 861, and my watch time was 115.8 hours. I need to have a look and see what kind of the average stats are to know whether this is good or bad, but I feel quite encouraged by that. Obviously, I do have a bit of a mixture of content on this channel at the moment, and it's going to all come together a little bit more in the new year, because obviously currently I have my crochet and small business content, which goes out every other Tuesday, and then I have my let's play content, which goes out every Friday. And I'm aware at the moment that might seem a little bit disjointed, but it's all going to hopefully get kind of woven together in the new year when I have time to start creating some videos which are talking specifically about folkloric and mythological animals, because the idea for this channel is that it's a hub for me to keep you updated with the things that I'm making, but also just share my love of fantasy and folklore generally. I need to have a look at all these stats and work out how to know whether they're good, and if they're not good, how to improve them. I don't plan to move away from, I guess, what feels like being a variety channel, but also it kind of isn't really, because everything is woven together through the theme of fantasy. So I don't know. Anyway, moving on. So on the TikTok, I had 1,116 followers as of the 1st of November, and I ended the month with 1,506 followers, which is a great jump, probably because my TikTok streams have had 4.8k viewers, and I've certainly gained over 200 followers just from my live streams on TikTok. My posts, however, bring out your date. I've posted 2 videos every week. I made up for the week that I wasn't posting anything by posting extra videos in other weeks. So I had 1,700 likes, I had 115 comments, and I had 23 shares on my videos. All of my top performing posts this month were 2 posts that TikTok insists on pushing out over all of the rest of my content. They are videos that I posted back in August. My notifications feed is full of those videos and those videos only. So my top performing posts aren't actually anything that I posted this month on TikTok. Instagram, then, I started the first of the month with 277 followers, and I actually ended the month on 325 followers. And I had 4,508 views overall. Now, I don't find Instagram an easy platform to grow on. I just don't really understand Instagram, and I don't enjoy using it. So although I would like to grow my Instagram account, I'm not focusing on it primarily. So I had 338 likes, 33 comments, and just 10 saves. And again, this month, my top performing posts, 2 of them were just static image carousels that I posted. My top liked post was a reel that I did with Tiny Boy, good old Tiny Boy. But I just can't seem to crack the reels thing. The big thing this month that was a struggle was the fact that I think I probably pushed myself too hard. I'm very much an all or nothing neurodivergent. I'm either hyper focused on something and I'm doing it for 12 hours a day, or I'm not doing it at all and I'm not even thinking about it. I truly did lock in and hyper focus after the last monthly roundup and said, right, I've got to get a lot done this month. There's nothing wrong with being like that. It becomes challenging when you are that brand of neurodivergent and you also have other chronic illnesses that you have to manage, particularly that are chronic fatigue based. So whilst I'd figured out a really good system for keeping myself motivated and getting things done, I also neglected my body quite a lot. I would need to work out a much healthier balance. Making videos, this one became a little bit of a challenge, and I'm talking about making videos on all platforms. I am actually really struggling with my weekly kind of schedule when it comes to filming, editing, and then having the videos scheduled and set out. My initial plan was Tuesdays and Fridays would be my post days on all of my social media platforms. Kind of gives me plenty of space to have rest days, etc. But I am finding that I am filming a lot of videos really on top of the point at which they need to be released. I'm doing that whole thing again, aren't I? Of just hyper focusing on like filming, editing, editing. It's all been done in a very short space of time. I'm going to try really hard this week to get all of my December videos filmed and edited. But hopefully, once I've got to the point where I'm like at least a month in advance, then that will just keep having like a domino effect. The other big thing that I struggled with this month was keeping my motivation for TikTok. My lives have been incredible on TikTok this last month, but my videos are just dead. I really don't know whether it's that my videos are not what people are wanting to see. I will admit that I'm not thinking as hard about what I'm posting there because YouTube is my priority. The last video I had any real big success of were the 2 videos that TikTok keeps pushing out. So yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. I probably should sit and think a little bit harder about what I'm doing there to try and get out of that, because I'm sure it'll be something that I'm doing. I think those are my main struggles this month. It's been a really up and down month, but there's been more positives than negatives, I think, this month, which is great. Obviously, the first achievement I have is I finished so many pieces. What was it, like 15? So yeah, I'm really proud of how I handle all of that, how I've managed to manage myself, I guess. Now, a month on, having seen how productive I've been, I don't think I felt even this comfortable back at the start of my fine art business. I think fine art comes with a level of having to mask. I feel like people didn't perhaps appreciate my like childlike wonder and childlike excitement, I suppose it would be described. Even though I'm not a child, I'm literally an adult and we're allowed to be super excited too. I feel like people perhaps didn't appreciate that and they perhaps didn't take me very seriously because of that. I don't know how to describe it. You're supposed to be really put together as an artist and I'm not. I'm like the least put together human being on this planet. That was very poorly explained because I haven't quite got to the nitty gritty of the psychological analysis of that in my brain parts yet. The other thing that I've been really enjoying this month and that I've felt has been really nice has been how great my TikTok lives have been. Last month, I was at the point of thinking maybe I won't do lives on TikTok anymore. And then I hopped on whilst I was in the middle of making this dude. So near the end of the crochet and chat video in which I make this guy, I basically got completely overwhelmed and rage quit, put down the camera and went live on TikTok. And that live, I don't know what it was. The universe just said, okay, we'll give you the motivation and the support that you need. I really need words of affirmation constantly because I have object permanence related to like emotions. And that live was really busy. I think I gained something like 300 followers from that live. Although actually, I've just said that, but then my stats said that I only got like 200 followers overall from lives this month when I looked at my analytics. So I'm not really sure what the analytics are doing there with TikTok. Maybe something's gone a bit glitched. There were so many people in the comments asking me questions, which I love being able to like, have discussions about things I know about. People were just being really complimentary of what I was doing. A lot of people were asking like, where can I buy? Where can I buy? Yeah, it was the busiest live I've ever had. I think I had something like 50 people in the live at one point. To me, that is a huge amount of people. I couldn't fit 50 people in my studio. So yeah, that was really, really encouraging and it's really motivating. The other achievement, which I've just realized I've forgotten to say, was just doing the market. I did the market. It's been a long time since I have been able to make something on this grand of a scale happen on my own. I booked the market on my own. I decided on the setup on my own. I was the one that kept myself motivated. I was the one that pushed to keep on a schedule. I've been really struggling recently with feeling a lack of control over my own neurodivergence and how that manifests for me in my day-to-day life, because it does impact my life a lot more than people even close to me realize. So one of my biggest nerves with doing the market was that I would get to market day and I would have maybe 2 or 3 products and I would be so poorly from pulling all of that together that I then wouldn't really be able to run the market stall very well. Well, I spent the whole month gentle parenting myself every hour of every day, but I managed to make it happen and I'm really pleased. You know, I worked out a system in my bullet journal that really worked for me, that really meant that I kept motivated. Something I really struggle with is self-motivation. I feel like I need a lot of support from other people to kind of encourage me and keep me going. But I was that person for myself for, I think, the first time, probably forever, actually. So yeah, I'm very pleased that I did it. Everything seems to turn deep in every video that I ever do. I'm sorry about that. December plans. Well, make all of the Christmas presents I need to make because I haven't even started them yet. Don't! I'm going to be doing a video of me making them, which will be released in January. And the other thing that I'm going to be working on this December is setting up a Shopify. Along with setting up the Shopify, I've got to work out all of the logistics of how I'm going to do things as well. I have two kind of main options, I think, as to how I could run my online shop. One thing is to have things in the shop all the time. If there's one thing that I have learned this month, it's that I work better when I have a lot to do. My brain definitely feels more comfortable with me saying, you have this deadline and you need to have all these things done by this deadline. Because previous to this, I've sort of been like, I would like to sell my crochet stuff. When I've kind of got enough, then I will start selling it. And that definitely didn't work because I just didn't finish anything ever. So the kind of trickling through of stock on my website so that the website is always full of stock is not going to work for me. It's just not the right vibe for me. The moment I booked the market, suddenly I was really productive. I started having loads of different ideas. I was able to have lots of different projects on the go and kind of ping pong between them, depending on which one I was most excited to work on that day. And then when I was confident in doing that, because I knew that I had to get all of them done. Whereas previously I have ping pong between projects, but the moment I've left one project and gone on to another, I've then not finished the previous one. So the way forward for me is going to be regular shop drops. I just feel like all round the vibe of doing regular shop drops suits me way better. And I'm hoping will suit you guys a lot better too. It means that I can keep my inspiration up because I can do themed shop drops. I'd be really excited to do a shop drop that's based around Fenland folklore because it's something I'm really passionate about because it's where I'm from. And it means that I can do a lot of research. I can accrue a lot of knowledge. I can make all of the things and then I'm done with that, posted it. Hopefully they all sell and then I can kind of shelve that and I can move on to the next theme and get really excited about that. It just fits how my brain works so much better than having a steady trickle of things into the shop. But anyway, that's all stuff that I've got to be thinking about this month and I've got to decide concretely what my plan's going to be to start off with in January. Other plan for this month is to try and get ahead on my videos. Ideally, I would like to get to the point where the only video I haven't recorded and already scheduled in a month is the monthly roundup. The monthly roundup I kind of have to do like at the beginning of the month. I can't pre-film that. I would like to be able to pre-film everything else. And ideally, I would love to be 2 or 3 months ahead of myself. But I think 1 month is a great way to start. So that is it. This has been a long roundup. I thought last month's was long, but I know that I've got over an hour's worth of footage that I've got to go through here and edit down. If you've made it to the end, congratulations. Please do let me know what your own monthly roundup would be. What have you made this month? What have your successes been? What are some things that maybe you've struggled with and you'd like maybe some support or advice about? Or maybe you just want a little bit of an internet hug because you're not ready for advice, but you still need to get it off your chest. And what are your plans for December? So yeah, let me know in the comments and please do give this video a thumbs up. And also if you're not subscribed, then consider subscribing to me. I make lots of crochet and small business related content, as well as doing let's plays of fantasy games in which I discuss the lore of the game and expose how bad I am at gaming. And also I'm going to be introducing a lot more kind of podcast style episodes where we talk specifically about the history of different folkloric and mythological animals. So basically, if you're a fantasy nerd, then you might want to consider following me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay spooky, my little storm clouds.